Hey there, and welcome to Everything You Love, episode 34. I'm Rob Arnold, and as you may have heard, I've got a brand new album coming out December 9th, 2022. It's called Magnitude. It's going to be available everywhere. And hey, that's just right around the corner, depending on when you're watching this. 10, 12 days away, 2 days away, maybe it happened a year ago, I don't know. But anyways, check out Magnitude. I know you're going to love it. Just made a video about it, describing the whole thing. You can hear a bunch of samples, just hear how it came about, who's on it, all that kind of good stuff. First link in the description, so please check that out. Mark on your calendars, Magnitude, December 9th, 2022. Now, let's check out some questions proposed by all of you here in the YouTube community. First one up, from a man, Trevor Phillips. Beautiful guitar. He's talking about my ESP RA1. Right up there. My first custom shop ESP. Did a video on that recently. If you haven't seen it, check it out if you're interested in hearing some more. But Rob, if you catch this comment, got a question for you. What made you guys decide we want a song in B on the Infection instead of the trusty drop C? Been meaning to ask for a long time. Also, if I'm lucky, you a 90s wrestling fan. Unfortunately, Trevor, I'm not a wrestling fan, and I know you're talking about the video made a little bit ago with Mark's Twitch channel and me and Jim fighting and all that kind of stuff. So if anybody is wrestling fans, check that out, as it's pretty cool. But I never really got into it. I didn't dislike it or anything. But Mark and Jim, they were huge wrestling fans, especially Mark, I think. But anyways, why on Chimaira's Infection do we have some songs in B rather than just keeping it in drop C like we've been using for a long time, like we have been using for a long time? You know, I think the simple answer is that it's just Mark Hunter. You know, he oftentimes he's very experimental, and while I don't remember the exact moment or anything like that, I'm sure that Matt or I was playing one of the riffs from the 3 tunes on the Infection: Try to Survive, Destroy and Dominate, and The Disappearing Sun that are in drop B. Somebody probably played a riff, and he probably just said, "Hey, that would sound better lower," or "Let's hear what that sounds like in a lower tuning." So we just did it, and it's really just as simple as that. And once you hear something lower, you got to keep it. You never think, "Oh, we need to tune that up." You never hear some Meshuggah say, "Oh, that'd sound better in E," the standard E, you know. But anyways, I thought let's check out some of those riffs that are in B on the record. I'll play them in C, and you be the judge. What sounds better? Did we make the right choice? What should I start with? I'll bet it sounds the same, you know, I mean, without a point of reference. So what you'd have to do is kind of like, you know, put on the album version, hear it in B, and then just cruise back to this video and see if it sounds different. I don't know. I thought it sounded pretty good, but I'm sure B was the right choice. What else? Sounds higher. sounded higher to me. What's the other one? Destroy and Dominate. No, that was Destroy and Dominate. Disappearing Sun. Sounds higher too. So, anyways, like I said, you guys be the judge. Next up, James Ty asks, hi Rob, awesome playthrough. Thank you, James. What's the hardest Chimaira song for you to play? You know, I actually just thought of this the other day. And I have an answer. Chimaira's Broken Glass from The Infection. I can't say exactly why, other than like a lot of the riffs I think are kind of just like unorthodox. Like some of the harmonies and some of the picking, it's just kind of like a few like uncomfortable patterns or positions. A lot of just tricky Matt DeVries riffs on that one. And not that his riffs are notoriously tricky. They're all badass, I think. But this one, something about it, or the harmonies that I chose to play over some of them, because I had done a playthrough, and while rehearsing for that, I remember just thinking to myself, God damn, this one's hard. It took a lot of practice to get that down. So I'd say that. And what's crazy is like, so James is commenting on Chimaira's Pray for All playthrough that I did from our self-titled record. And for some reason, that song is a breeze for me, even though it's, you know, in my opinion, equally as punishing Pray for All versus Broken Glass in terms of speed, riff technicality. They're just kind of like riff onslaughts. But I don't know why, like all the Pray for All riffs are just what I'd consider wheelhouse riffs. I could play that one, eyes closed. But Broken Glass, big challenge. So good question. And, you know, I have so many songs, it would have been hard for me to think of that, I guess. But I actually just happened to think of that the other day. That Broken Glass is definitely a toughie. Next one from JD. Are there any songs or riffs you wrote that you thought were amazing when you first wrote them, but they didn't age well? Any songs or riffs? Interestingly enough, there's the Broken Glass playthrough that he's asking this particular question on. All right, I got an answer for this too. Another thing that I actually just thought of recently. So every once in a while, you know, I'd play a riff for Andals, or somebody would play a riff, and if Andals didn't like it, let's just say in my case, like if it was some riff, if he didn't like it, he'd call it a mustache riff, and he was making fun of me like it's having something to do with my mustache. I don't know what, like Rob's one of Rob's mustache riffs or something like that. Anyways, this was, I think, during the Infection period, maybe Resurrection. I can't remember, but it was this riff. Here's how it went, and I'll tell you a little more about it. 2, 3, 4. Let me change these because you guys can get a better view there. Let me do that. All right. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, this chair is right uncomfortable there. I don't know how that sounded. I'm just gonna do it one more time. So keep that melody in your head. So we'd come to practice each day, you know, working on the songs we were writing and stuff. And Andals, we'd often parody songs, almost to either refer to them sometimes or to make fun of them or whatever. And Andals' parody lyrics for this were, "We all are friends and we're friends till the end." I can't remember what he'd say there. "We all are friends and we're friends till the end." So And even on the whiteboard where we'd have everything going, you know, this one was, the working title was "We All Are Friends." So we had some fun, you know. You gotta have some fun when you're writing. Always had a lot of good laughs in Chimaira, you know. And Andel's, he's got a good sense of humor. We all had a different sense of humor that all work well together, and I don't know. So that's it. I loved the riff. I thought it was going to make the record, but Arnold's just shot it down with his, you know, mustache riff reference, and it never made it. I don't know if a demo exists, because there was probably more to the song. If I find it one day, maybe I'll play it for you guys. Let's see, what's T-Mac have to say here? Background first, I was in high school in 1970. So T-Mac's talking about a show, the first time he saw Chimaira here, and that he was impressed with the lights, all the syncopation, you know, stuff matching up with the kicks and the snares, and, you know, just big parts hitting, strobes, all that. So that's cool. And just wondering how we did that and how bands do that and stuff. So anyways, in our case, we, as part of our crew, our touring crew, we had a lighting designer or director, commonly referred to as an LD, with us on the road, literally for years. A good guy, Brian, he traveled with us across the world for years. So he knew the songs and he knew the set perfectly all the time. You know, anytime we changed the set, you know, he was aware of it. He just knew what was going on. And, you know, guys like that become like almost like another member of the band or a part of the performing party in a sense, where, you know, his skills with timing and creativity and things like that played a major role in the light show. Now, of course, Mark and Chris especially would help design that with Brian. And, you know, what we could do is we'd film a show, let's say, and then after the show or the next day, they'd watch it sitting around on the bus, and they'd be like, oh, okay, we like this color scheme, or this particular song, we want more of a yellow hue, or this one, let's say the dehumanizing process, we want it to be all red. This song, we only want, you know, strobes happening for the first minute, you know, or oh, it'd be cool if pyro went off here. We never got to use pyro, but I always wished. Or, you know, here we want the foggers to blast up in the air. So anyways, they could design it like that, and Brian would know exactly what we'd wanted, and he put his own spin on it as well, but it was all about the timing, and that's what I think you're referring to here, that you thought it was cool, because timing is such a big part of it. When the lights, something happens, a big change, a scene change, or strobes happen in key moments throughout the set or throughout songs, then obviously that's appealing to an audience. So, and then also Brian would bring a lighting package with him that we'd rent, depending on what we wanted and depending on what the budget was for that tour in terms of movers, you know, lights that can move automatically, in terms of strobes and foggers and blinders and all these big things. And his lighting console that he could program the show so that you know, one button or a series of buttons would make a bunch of things happen. You know, he could have songs assigned to certain buttons and cues, like, okay, the Venom Inside is gonna happen. Let me hit that. Now the board moves and it's ready with a bunch of greens, and they move in a certain way where it's gonna light up Mark in a certain area, stuff like that. So all that would be kind of programmed. And then beyond that, what's happening more so nowadays is that bands will play to a click track so that other things can be programmed to that click track in time. Lots of bands now are pre-programming their lighting cues and designs and all that, and they just bring out a laptop and they can feed that right into the lighting console at the club or theater or whatever, and it will trigger in time whatever they want to happen with the lights, because all that's set up in advance. I've been out of the touring game for a minute now, so I can't even, I don't know if I'm using the right verbiage with all this kind of stuff. But anyways, it's just, all that technology has really come a long way. So a lot of people I've been hearing lately have been talking about the Meshuggah light show that's happening right now and how incredible it is. So that is obviously automated, but with the help of their LD. I wouldn't be surprised if Meshuggah's playing to a click, but not because they need to, because it's relevant to the show and enhances the show because of the enhanced lighting and things that they can do. Another example is Chimaira's in 2017 when we did our reunion show. That was the first time we had ever played to a click track, and it wasn't because we needed to musically, it's because we wanted the video on the screen behind us to sync up to all the things we were doing. So just kind of like when with the lights, when we hit a certain part, you know, the scene would change in the video and things like that. So really cool what you could do nowadays with this stuff, and cool to know that people are digging that and enjoying that aspect of, you know, a live show and what can be done with all that cool technology. All right, so just a couple cool things I wanted to mention, or went to a couple shows recently. One of them was the Aristocrats. You guys heard of them? Amazing. Guthrie Govan on guitar, Marco Miniman on drums, Brian Beller on bass, all just astonishingly incredible musicians. And went to this little shows at a little club, just seats, you know, no like pit or anything, you know. It's just cool to just be in seats and watch these guys perform. Their songs are really incredible. And like I said, the playing is incredible. Marco Miniman, the drummer, the dude is amazing. Years ago on tour, somebody brought this DVD to the bus, Marco Miniman Extreme Drumming, and we had this thing on repeat for like, you know, weeks. Just, you know, anytime you come in and out of the bus, Marco would be sitting there explaining and stuff and just playing songs, and he's insane. If you guys don't know him, I'd check out some of the stuff, just YouTube his name. Brian Beller, the bass player, and he's kind of like, I'd consider like the front man of the band too, even though there's no vocals. He just kind of like just talks in between songs and they tell stories about how the songs came together. But he's the bass player of Death Clock, who Chimaira toured with in 2008, so we got to know him then, so that was cool. Seeing him, I didn't see him this time, but I'd seen the Aristocrats a couple years ago as well, and got a chance to say hello then. And just Guthrie, all the guitar players out here that know Guthrie just know like he's the king. I think he's just... king right now, man. Only certain guys, nobody can play like that, in my opinion. So that was really cool. Really enjoyed seeing that show. It's good to get out, just see a little kind of like instrumental music like that, you know, hint, hint. The other thing, the final thing I wanted to mention, so I like telling you guys some stuff I'm into here and there, you know. It seems that you guys sometimes want to know. So it's for my fellow modern day Opeth fans out there. I know there's like a big thing, you know, or some guys are just, let's call it Ghost Reveries, pre-Ghost Reveries Opeth fans, and then post-Ghost Reveries Opeth fans. I'm a guy that got into them with Ghost Reveries, and just, I love everything from Ghost Reveries on. Certainly the stuff before that is cool, but I just have a passion for Ghost Reveries and everything after that. I really love everything they're doing, you know, Pale Communion, Sorceress, whatever the last one is, in Claude, something like that. I love that stuff. So if you're a fan of that and you haven't heard of this, Michael, singer of Opeth, he wrote the score for this Netflix show called Clark. And it's like 20 or 30 songs, all just like 2 or 3 minutes long. And they're all just like mini Opeth songs, but nothing real heavy, but you'll recognize the sound instantly, and you will instantly hear the genius of Michael. Just, you have to hear it. I recommend checking this out. Every song is awesome, and to know that it's like, he wrote this for like a show, you know, like, so I watched an interview with him, or listened to it, I think, where he was talking about how he did it, and you just, you know, you vibe on certain things, certain scenes. They say they need a scene with some action or drama, or, you know, somebody's getting killed, or it's a chase scene or whatever, and he gets to write music for that. That just sounds so fun to me, and it's really cool. He's very deserving of this, and he did a phenomenal job. Check it out, the Clark soundtrack, Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth, really, really cool. And yeah, so quick and easy one here. Everything You Love 34. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, Magnitude, December 9th, 2022. Pick it up. Me and Andals from Chimaira on this instrumental little banger. 11 songs. I think you're going to enjoy it. Appreciate everybody watching here, all the support, YouTube, Patreon community. Grab my DVD if you want to learn more about playing some guitar, or check out my guitar lessons playlist. A link for you. Pretty much everything I talk about in the videos, always linked in the description below. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't already. And if you like what you've seen and you want to see more of it, you want to know when stuff's happening. And that's going to do it, I think. Bye, guys.